The first new poll for The Australian has revealed support for high immigration has almost halved over the past decade to a paltry 13%. Meanwhile, nearly 50% of Australians actually want to see fewer immigrants enter Australia. For more on this, let's bring in the Shadow Immigration Minister, Dan Tehan. Well, Dan, as I said before the break, it's not that we're not welcoming, but this is what happens when immigration gets out of control and the government's got no plan. That's the problem.
That is the problem, Peter. You're absolutely right. And the government doesn't have a plan, and we've been warning about this now for 2 years. As you know, they've nearly brought in 1 million people in 2 years in the middle of a housing crisis, in the middle of a rental crisis, in the middle of a cost of living crisis. And that lack of a plan is why people are just saying enough is enough. But yet the government doesn't seem to be getting the message. The latest data we have for this calendar year from January through to May for arrivals and departures shows there are more people coming than ever have before in our history. So the first 5 months on departure and arrivals data has been the highest amount of arrivals we've ever seen in the first 5 months of a calendar year. So the government just doesn't seem to be getting the message.
And of course, they're going to say whatever people want them to say and hear leading into the election. The numbers, you're right, they are not matching the government's rhetoric, but they'll mouth all the words to get through the campaign, and they'll get the other side of the campaign. Let's say they're re-elected, they'll do whatever they like. They will keep bringing in record numbers of people because otherwise they've got no budget strategy.
That's absolutely right. And for this financial year, they said that the net overseas migration rate would be 395,000. Well, we already know that it is going to be probably 50,000 more than that. And then the following year, they've said they're going to bring it back down to 260,000. Well, there is no way known on the projections that we're seeing at the moment that that is going to occur. And you have to remember, this is at a time when they aren't helping to build housing. All these government housing programs have not yet added one additional house to our housing stock. So it is a complete catastrophe. The minister, as you know, has the Prime Minister's sword hanging over his head because he seems he's up for the job. I think all Australians are hoping that there will be some movement there. So we've had a lame duck minister now for 3 or 4 months, and meanwhile the numbers just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.